The Manchester terror attack. A lot of people suggesting that maybe the Brits round up the 3,500 active terror suspects that there are in Britain. You can't do that here, can you, Judge Andrew Napolitano, who's always linking us to the Constitution? I mean, look, in all seriousness.
Yeah, it's a very serious problem, and I laugh because of the conversation we had before the camera came on us.
Look, at the moment, I think we have, in America, I think we have a defensive posture.
Yes.
We attempt to stop attacks before they happen. In what way could we take an attacking, preemptive policy and go after them before they do something?
Okay,
can we do that?
You do have that policy in the land of your birth.
Yes, but what about here?
Because Parliament has authorized it. Over here, it could not be authorized without a fundamental change to the Constitution. But there are things the government can do. And I actually share some of the criticisms of the British and American government that Mr. Farage just leveled at Theresa May. I have argued for a long time that Great Britain is the most surveilled country in all of Europe, and Manchester is the second most surveilled city in Great Britain. Only London has more surveillance cameras.
True.
So the government, if it had eyes to watch every camera, would know everything everybody is doing in public at all times. It obviously doesn't have those eyes because it's information overload. It is too much surveillance. And it causes a false sense of security on the part of security forces when they believe, well, we can capture everything. But they do the capturing after the event occurs.
Oh, hold on, Judge. The value for all these surveillance cameras is not in preemptive action, stopping people before they act. It's mopping up the ringleaders and the group after the attack.
My argument is that it should be used for preemptive purposes. You asked me how they can constitutionally preempt this. Well,
you can't arrest a guy because he's got a backpack on and he's near a train station in America.
You can follow a guy. You can surveil a guy. You can be sure that he's not in a position to harm anyone as long as you have articulable suspicion. And a guy wearing a vest that could be exploded is articulable suspicion. Look, in America...
You're arguing out of both sides.
No. I'm telling you that in America, because we have information overload, we learn about the phone calls that the Boston Marathon bombers made, that the crazy person in Orlando made before he shot up the nightclub, that the husband and wife team in San Bernardino made after these killings occurred. Even though the NSA had in real time the phone calls and the texts at the time they were made, but they didn't look at them. They just stored them because they have more information than they can process. If they focused on people as to whom there is reason for suspicion, they are more likely than not to focus on the bad people rather than on everyone.
So let's boil it all down. If there is reasonable grounds for suspicion on the basis of camera surveillance and wiretapping or whatever else it is, if there's reasonable grounds for suspicion, you take it to a judge and you can pick that person up and bring him in for question. Can you do that?
Yes.
Or do you have to arrest them?
Well, if they don't come voluntarily, you have to arrest, and you can only arrest if there's probable cause.
I think we should do it.
Without getting into the weeds, the standard for surveilling is easier and lower than the standard for probable cause. This character, this monster last night, should have been on their radar screen.
Okay.
He was, and they didn't know it.
Should we do what I suggest? That is, surveillance, wiretapping, probable cause, pick them up, question them.
Well, if the wiretapping is done pursuant to probable cause, yes.
Okay, all right. So we're on the same page.
Did I bring you to my side of this?
No, I brought you to my side.
That'll be the day.
Yes, it is.